Welcome to Authentic Yoga Tradition series. It is an introduction. So in today's introductory series, we'll give just an overview about yoga to make you understand how and why the authentic yoga tradition is very important. I offer this episode at the lotus feet of my beloved master with whom I spent almost 26 years. I've been guiding, teaching, training, research in the field of yoga, meditation, mindfulness. The only goal is helping people to manage their pain. And that pain includes your anxiety, your stress, relationship problems, and host of other challenges that you face in your life. The second goal is to help people achieve well-being and discover inner peace and happiness. You can download free relaxation practice from my website. You can write for online and in-person training and education. Watch Shanti meditation practices. It is a journey to the higher mindfulness based on the principles of Eastern wisdom. Authentic yoga tradition yoga has attracted a global attention. And it has to be because we are living in the age of anxiety, stress, suffering. A host of other problems at the physical, mental, and emotional level. Yoga gives us a secular knowledge that is totally free from religion, called dogma belief. It is not based on belief, it is based on clear understanding of our role, our position, our state in the universe outside and also inside. That is where the authentic yoga tradition starts. The only goal of yoga is awakening and realization. It is the transformation in nirvana. It is enlightenment. So now these words appears very complex to us. Let me simplify it. The authentic yoga tradition aims at discovery of our true nature. Only the true nature. Further, many masters declare that true nature is or consists of pure awareness, wisdom, love, and bliss. Can we achieve that? Can we experience that state of the inner peace, harmony, and happiness? That is one of many goals of yoga. We have been seeking happiness in our life. We have been seeking peace in our life. And that peace and the happiness eludes us. The moment we try, one of my masters used to say that we marry. Why? Because of peace and happiness. And we divorce also because of peace and happiness. We fight because we are seeking happiness. So when we fight, we marry or divorce, it is kind of a wrong perception. It is the ignorance. And the yoga leads to dropping that ignorance and helping you to discover your true nature. Just the opposite, the modern understanding of yoga is all about physical stretching and the sweating and the different styles of yoga. It is almost appears equivalent to any gym. Alignment and the core strength, these are the fundamentals of the physical science, physical practices. Are the physical practices aligns with the physical yoga practices or they are different? Are the physical practices helps you to change your mind in order to change your brain? What the neuroscience is talking about, fire the brain to rewire it through different practices of mindfulness. or yoga is alone the physical well-being? We need to understand based on the teachings of these great masters, and in this series we'll throw some light on this. Present series, we will look back and find out the originators of yoga. What is the originator? What is the goal? How do we understand the goal of yoga? There is a common misunderstanding that you can easily understand. We talk about yoga and meditation. But the moment the term yoga is used, meditation is an integral part of yoga. Yoga and mindfulness, it is the same. Mindfulness is an integral part of yoga. Yoga is physical and mindfulness is mental. That is what we normally talk about it. Nowhere in the history we have more than 60 definitions of yoga in the 6,000 years old history, and the explanation given by more than 3,000 teachers. They always talk about yoga leads to meditation or mindfulness. Mindfulness leads to knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of your real self. And the real self, knowing the real self, brings an end to the suffering. We'll talk in detail about this, how to drop misunderstanding. That is a very important question about yoga. Do you think that once you understand the truth about the authentic yoga tradition, and as a yoga teacher you may not be able to teach physical yoga? No. On the other hand, if you understand the foundations of yoga as taught by these masters, you can teach much better even the physical yoga, the breathing practices, the mudras, the kundalini, the mindfulness, meditation, and more than 52 different groups of practices that is explained in yoga by these masters. So what should we do? We should go to the source. Where is the source? It lies in authentic text and teachings of these great teachers. It lies in the tradition and the teachings. We have to learn those principles to find out. Sources available here and now. 6,000 years old tradition. We have more than 3,000 teachers in the text, and majority of the texts are available. Now let's take few examples. Understanding the authentic yoga tradition, that we will dwell deeply for clear understanding, and we will also highlight some of the practices. Yoga is physical? Big no. Yoga is a part, physical is a part of yoga. But yoga is a whole that includes 52 different groups of practices. In the present series, we will talk about awareness about yoga and opportunities. What are the opportunities that lies in the modern time? How do you understand the history of yoga tradition? What constitutes yoga practice, authentic versus modern? We'll have an overview of that. In the episode 4, what tradition means in yoga tradition? Sometimes people say, I have learnt yoga from this teacher, and that teacher belongs to the tradition founded by his master in the 20th century. That doesn't constitute tradition. That is not a lineage. Well, in modern time, if you consider the lineage as that my father and his father and his father, maybe 3 generations, they have taught yoga, that becomes a lineage. No. The lineage in the tradition has totally a different understanding in authentic yoga tradition, that we'll talk about it. In episode 5, we'll talk about why the study of authentic yoga tradition is important. Whether you are a practitioner or a teacher or an educator or a researcher. In episode 6, we'll talk about the importance of studying the ancient yogic text. In episode 7, we'll talk about the Sanskrit language and yoga. So just to give you a glimpse, Sanskrit means highly cultured from inside. There is a sense of equanimity. There is a sense of peace that comes from outside. That is the essence of meaning of the Sanskrit, the word as such. In episode 8, we'll talk about discussion why tradition is important. 9. Why tradition and lineage are important in clear and true understanding of the authentic yoga tradition. And we'll summarize in episode 10 all about the first series. So, wait for episode 1, awareness about yoga and the opportunities. In the meantime, you can watch Shanti meditation free. There is an entire series of higher mindfulness practice. You can go to the website and download free relaxation practice from my website. Thank you very much for joining me into this journey of authentic yoga tradition.